Peace, family. This is your brother, 2020, and you are tuned in to another episode of The 20 Spot. In this current climate, day and time, information needs to be given clearly. In this case, Clear Vision with 2020 is a podcast for the people, by the people, that does exactly that. Your host keeps an open eye and mind when dealing with any issue at hand. We empower our audience with knowledge. You matter. And here, I use my voice to support and represent the people. The people are the human family who loves truth. Logical thinking and conversation skills are required for communication. News, culture, music, and entertainment with a clear look from a different perspective. Clear Vision with 2020. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to the 20 Spot today, family. How y'all doing this morning? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for kicking it with your brother today. You know, we're going to go over a couple of current events this morning. You know, this is going to be a brief episode of the 20 Spot. You know, we're going to try to do this every morning if possible, you know, to, bring you some fresh perspectives on the current news cycle that's going on. You know, with the 24-hour news cycle, it's always something going on. So, well, we're going to start this off with the fair use disclaimer because I'm going to be going over some articles and some things that are relevant to the conversation today. So, this is how we're going to start it off. The copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act in 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right, people. So, we're going to have a discussion today about a few things that I've seen in the news that, kind of spirited me to want to talk about a few things. The first thing is I want to speak real quick about these medical mandates. You shouldn't have to mandate anybody to do anything. You know, it's never been done before in history, but it's been just what we call a way of coercing people into doing what you feel they should do in this case. And I'm going to have another episode. We're going to be talking about the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated. That's a big conversation that's been going on here lately. So we're going to talk about that as well, in a later broadcast. 5 to 11-year-olds, I don't think they should be given anything that hasn't been absolutely proved it non-threatening. This stuff ain't been out long enough for you just to be giving it to children. I mean, I had a issue with it being given to teenagers from 11 to 18. These children are still developing. Between the age of 5 and 18, you're still developing. You're still growing. You shouldn't get anything that hasn't been absolutely proven not to harm you in some way, shape, or form or have some type of drastic side effect. So I think they should do a little more study, research. I don't think they should really be giving it to a lot of the adults they're giving it to. Especially with a lot of people having conditions and things going on with them they probably don't even know about until they get sick. They wouldn't even know about it until something happened to them. Had no idea, just walking around with all types of conditions, but don't even know what they are. But yet, you want to give somebody a concoction that hasn't been absolutely tested to the point to where you know exactly what's going to happen when you give it to somebody. So, no, I don't agree with that. Going to anybody under the age of 10, I didn't agree with it under the age of 18 either. So 5 to 11, nah, I don't agree with that. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next one, and I'm gonna talk some more about these mandates and everything and all of this stuff, later on, in other episodes, because I want to make sure that the listeners are aware of the information that really is out there. They're not giving it all to us. I don't know why, but I got an idea why. I won't talk about that right now either. We're going to discuss that later on in another broadcast as well. So, next thing I want to talk about, Merrick Garland had a hearing on Capitol Hill involving the school memo that he put out. Okay. Now, this is courtesy of USA Today online, usatoday.com. We did not stick the FBI on parents. Attorney General Merrick Garland defends school memo. Attorney General Merrick Garland defended his memo about assisting local school officials against violence and threats of violence, as Senate Republicans blasted the memo as shameful and intimidating, and one called for his resignation. The top Republican on the Senate Judiciary Committee, Senator Charles Grassley of Iowa, said Garland politicized the department and urged him to revoke the October 4th memo. The October 4th memo that we're talking about here, and I got it right here in front of me. You can get this at www.justice.gov. Listen to the first paragraph. This is Office of Attorney General, Washington, D.C., 20530, October 4th, 2021. Memorandum for Director, Federal Bureau of Investigations, Executive Office for the U.S. Attorneys, Assistant Attorney General, Criminal Division, United States Attorney Generals. Okay. Subject: partnership among federal, state, local, tribal, and territorial law enforcement to address threats against school administrators, board members, teachers, and staff. Okay. This is the Attorney General saying that we need to start looking into this. Now listen to the first paragraph, and you tell me if this sounds like some of this nonsense that these Republicans call themselves talking about Nazis and all of this mess. You tell me. In recent months, there has been a disturbing spike in harassment, intimidation, and threats of violence against school administrators, board members, teachers, and staff who participate in the vital work of running our nation's public schools. While spirited debate about policy matters is protected under our Constitution, that protection does not extend to threats of violence or efforts to intimidate individuals based on their views. Threats against public servants are not only illegal, they run counter to our nation's core values. Those who dedicate their time and energy to ensure that our children receive a proper education in a safe environment deserve to be able to do their work without fear for their safety. Now, if you aren't aware, all you got to do is look up school board meetings. You can put COVID-19 in there. You can put critical race theory in there. And you can look at these people that are getting in front of these microphones, expressing themselves like they are. Okay? Take a look at them, and you tell me the type of individual you think you're talking to. This man did a memo because he was concerned. Okay? Now, that was the part of the memo. Now, we're going to go back to the article. Now, listen. Senator Charles Grassley, like I said, of Iowa, said the memo would target parents expressing concerns about curriculum on critical race theory or about mandates under the First Amendment. Quote, that is a poisonous, chilling effect, Grassley said. This kind of looks like something that would come out of a communist country. What does he know about being in a communist country? I want y'all to go. This is what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to look up the Red Scare of the 1920s. I want you to look up communism in the United States. Just look it up. That's all you got to do. Just look it up. Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas, another Republican, said he is glad Garland was never confirmed to the Supreme Court after being nominated by former President Barack Obama. Now, all of these senators are starting to come out now and talk about this man because he made a memo. The memo I just read you, just a part of it. And we're going to get more into it. We're going to get a little more into it a little bit later. Not on this one, but a little bit later on, we're going to get a little bit more into it. Senator Josh Hawley, Republican Missouri, called for his resignation because of the memo. Now look at what Mr. Garland said. But Garland said he only directed federal authorities to consult and offer assistance to local officials, if necessary, about violence, threats of violence, and other criminal conduct. Quote, the only thing we are concerned about is violence and threats of violence against school officials, school teachers, and staff, Garland said. We did not stick the FBI on parents. Now look, first of all, people are getting upset about this critical race theory thing. I got a whole subject. I already got something made up about that. We're gonna talk about that too. But these school mandates with these masks, all of that stuff started with Trump. The people that you see doing the major dissenting of all of this stuff that's going on, most of those people are Trump supporters. Most of those people are Republicans that follow these individuals. A few of the names that I read off today, they want to be like them. If they could take their way of life and just blanket it over the whole population of the earth, they'll do it. Just so everybody would be under their rule so that they'll be in control. This is how they want to do it. So a lot of these school boards, these people been getting threatened. You know, they've been getting confronted by these parents talking about, I'm going to get all of you and you're not going to be able to walk around here too much longer by yourself. We know who you are. We know where you live. You know, when people say stuff like that, those are implications of potential violence. You can say what you want to. You know, if you are from any type of area in this United States, you know when somebody say, yeah, you know, I know where you live at. I mean, do we really have to talk about do we really have to have a discussion about what they could possibly mean? I don't think so. So this man's been under fire. They've been calling for his resignation. They've been talking crazy about him, talking about they want him to resign. Now I'm gonna read a couple more things that he said. But before I do, I'm gonna read a couple more things that these senators have said. Now, Garland added a point after he said we did not stick the FBI on parents. He issued his memo announcing that the Justice Department would be investigating and addressing the disturbing spike in harassment, intimidation, and threats of violence against school board members and teachers nationwide. In addition to creating a task force and training resources, the department will also be directing the FBI to work with local law enforcement to help districts report and respond to the threats. So now all of these people that's getting up in front of these school board members, threatening in any way, shape, or form somebody's life, like they're going to try to put their hands on you or something like that, now they'll start getting looked at. Check their track record. See if they ever did that to anybody else. Hell, even go back and check their relatives. See if their relatives was involved in lynchings back in the day. You know? I mean, think about it. These people got relatives that probably participated in mess like that. They won't tell you that, though. They won't say nothing like that to you. They don't want to make themselves look bad, but yeah, they got pictures of grandparents up on their wall probably that took pride in it. These are the same people that are getting in front of your school board. Some of these people might even be on the school boards. You just never know. But regardless of what you do, especially if it's a government job, yeah, you need to be protected. So check out what Senator Durbin said from Illinois. Committee chairman, Senator Durbin, said Wednesday, lawmakers are complaining about Garland's memo. No, he said lawmakers complaining about Garland's memo are really inconsistent with reality. Okay. He cited news reports. Okay, here we go with the receipts. News reports of several incidents of violence at board meetings. Those who urge school board meetings across America. No, those who argue that school board meetings across America are not more dangerous and more violent than in the past are ignoring reality. Free speech does not involve threats and violence. You know, the only person that I knew that ever spoke, and when they spoke, there was a threat and a mercy at the same time in something, is when God talked in the Bible through the prophets. If you don't get this right, this will happen. But if you do get this right, this will happen. That's not what's going on at these school board meetings. You're not going to do such and such, blase, blase, blah. And if you do, I'm coming after you. That's what these people are saying. A woman had to resign from her position because of death threats that she was getting on the phone, letters, text messages, emails. Okay. So now that we know how this is, it's time to call it out for what it is. And anybody who defends it, including these senators and these lawmakers, anybody who defends that attitude, y'all need to call them out. Ted Cruz, Senator Hawley, all of y'all, you know, call them out. Call them out on that. You know, because what they do is they support white supremacy. Whether they want to admit it to you or not, they just put a suit and tie on the mess and try to try to throw it out in front of you like it's all good. You know, and the majority of these people eating it up and want to be just like them. Those are the ones you need to watch out for. Because they're not going to serve you. They're not going to do you any good. Anybody that'll lie to you in your face, or anybody that'll try to make evil fair seeming in your face, You need to go ahead on and kick them to the curb, because they're not going to be any good for you. I'm just saying. I mean, you entitled to do what you want to, but my suggestion would be to pay really close attention to them. Really close attention. Because if they don't mind people who throw up Nazi symbols, even though it's protected under the First Amendment. I mean, just like burning crosses was protected under the First Amendment, but everybody knew what was going to happen when you seen a burning cross, didn't you? You already knew what was going down. Somebody either about to die somewhere, or it's about to be some damn problems if these people get out of line. You know what I'm talking about. You know, when the lynch mob come up the street, what are they coming up the street for? They ain't coming up the street for peace. So just be careful. I'm just saying, you know, and you can check that article out on usatoday.com. There's plenty of other articles out about the same thing, you know, and thank you, you know, Merrick Garland, for telling the truth and speaking up. You know, thank you for acknowledging the fact that people who do these jobs in public service, they do need to be protected from these savages that's out here. Because, yeah, there's some savages out here. They want to hurt somebody over their opinion. You are entitled to your own opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts. I want y'all to go and check out that hearing too. It's on YouTube. It's on different platforms. Go check it out. Listen to the words that these people say out of their mouths yourself, and you determine whether or not they should even be listened to or not. How did they even get in the office in the first place? Who voted for these people in the first place? Somebody who wanted to protect their way of life. Didn't care about nobody else outside. When these people speak, believe me when I tell you, this is what you need to do. When you see these people speak, you find out what district they come from, and you go and you look at the people that they represent. You hold these people accountable. Tom Cotton. You hold these people accountable. Go to their states, their cities, and look at the people who represent. They represent. The people that they represent need to look at them too. Because if you are telling us that these are the people who represent your values where you come from, it's a problem. It's a definite problem. And you need to be called out on that. I don't care what district you from. I don't care what state you from. All 50 of them. Any of the 50 states, any of the districts, any of the territories. If you from there and you got a senator or any type of representative that's saying that they're representing your values and they're talking like these people talking, yeah, we gonna look at you too. We gonna wonder about we gonna wonder about you just as well, because you backing these people up, so you must feel the same way they do. So you should be put on blast just as well as anybody else. I'm going to talk more about this in another broadcast. I just, you know, sometimes I get passionate about stuff. You know, it's just, boy. The next story. And then we're going to wrap this up. I know y'all heard about the incident with Alec Baldwin and the accident of the gun with the live round being fired out of it. You know, he doesn't strike me as a person who would purposely do something like that, or, you know, he's really broken up about this. And his daughter did I seen something about his daughter saying something about her father as well, you know, dealing with this, He's really broken up about this woman, and how the thing happened. So let me see real quick here. We're still under the fair use, so all right. So as Alec Baldwin was involved in an incident that happened on the set of his film called Rust. Okay. He fired a gun that was supposed to have basically, non-live rounds in it, and ended up shooting a cinematographer on the scene. Now, Donald Trump Jr. in classic fashion, just like his daddy. Just like his daddy. Ain't no different from his daddy. Look at what this fool decides to do. Yeah, and I'm calling him a fool. He has the nerve to make a shirt. Now, we all know that Donald Trump isn't liked by Alec Baldwin, with good reason. A lot of people don't like Trump for their own reasons. So what? A lot of people didn't like Barack Obama. A lot of people don't like Kanye West. A lot of people don't like. So what? You don't like him, okay? You don't like him. But you don't just go around talking crazy about people. You know what I'm saying? So this is courtesy of WPTV. I think this is probably in West Palm Beach, Florida. Donald Trump Jr. is selling shirts lampooning actor Alec Baldwin for the fatal shooting of a cinematographer on a film set last week. This is how low, down, dirty, and filthy these people play. The eldest son of former President Donald Trump has shirts that say, "Guns don't kill people. Alec Baldwin kills people." Selling the shirts for $27.99 a piece. Can you believe that? I don't even really like giving people that type of pub, but that's absolutely ridiculous. For you to do some mess like that. I don't understand it. The lady, Helena Hutchins, 42, and the director, Joel Souza, he just was injured. May Allah be pleased with her and her duty on the planet. And we hope that the director recovers, as well as we hope Alec Baldwin recovers, because we know that was an actual accident. But was it really an accident? Is somebody trying to do something to this man? You understand what I'm saying? You have to understand this. It's forces around you that are working on an agenda. And as soon as you let your side be known, then there's people that's going to start working against you. I mean, did somebody do this on purpose so, this man would be affected? We never know, but you need to be on the lookout for stuff like that. There's a lot more to this story. I'm going to get more into that too as well. I did say that this was going to be brief, but it ended up, it being extended a little bit because I just get passionate about some things, and I just had to express myself a little bit. But All right, family. I'm going to go ahead on and wrap this up. And I'm going to say this in the wrap. We are a people at the end of the day. We are all members of the human family. And we need to be well aware of the things that we do and how we treat one another, as well as what we say about and to one another as well. So, it's a saying that a friend of mine has. I might be misquoting or mispronouncing it a little bit, but I'm just going to try and pull it from the mind here a little bit. And she says, be kind to all and in all ways. No, be kind to all, always, and in all ways. When I first heard her say that, I really didn't understand it until I had to break it down. Sometimes, you have to break a phrase down in the words. Be kind to all. Be kind always and in all ways. I might be getting it wrong. I don't know. And I'm going to ask her about it later. But that says a lot in a phrase. Even God has mercy on the wicked. He don't want to see them die in their wickedness. If nobody warns them, but he makes sure somebody does. So I want to end it by saying, everybody be kind to one another. Love one another. Have mercy on one another. As our Creator has mercy on us every single day, He allows us to see another one. Every time He allows us to open our eyes and wake up, that's another opportunity to do something good. So, this is your brother 2020. You have been tuned in to the 20 spot. Y'all have a fantastic day, week, weekend, and I'll see you on the flip side. Peace. In this current climate, day and time, information needs to be given clearly. In this case, Clear Vision with 2020 is a podcast for the people, by the people, that does exactly that. Your host keeps an open eye and mind when dealing with any issue at hand. We empower our audience with knowledge. You matter. And here, I use my voice to support and represent the people. The people are the human family who loves truth. Logical thinking and conversation skills are required for communication. News, culture, music, and entertainment with a clear look from a different perspective. Clear Vision with 2020.